San Francisco, right after the gold rush. Politics as raw and dirty as the town itself. 5 elections in less than a year and not one of them honest. Scarcely one official elected legally. The city administration, a pack of thieves. Nearly all of them, from the mayor on down. Elections won by stuffed ballot boxes, stuffed hands, and stuffed politicians living high off the public funds. Men like Martin Donovan.
So Hastings came to your workshop, did he?
About an hour ago.
How much did he see?
Enough.
I think Mr. Hastings saw too much.
Oh, Mr. Hastings.
Yes?
The Californians.
I've come to live where life is best. In the Golden West, I'm gonna strike it rich in California.
It was Donovan who had him killed, Jack.
Very likely, Sam. But how are we going to prove it?
What's it to prove? Donovan was scared that Hastings might beat him, so he had him killed.
I'm afraid there's a little more to it than that, Dean. I wish I'd been home when Hastings came to see me. Martha tells me he was quite excited.
About what?
If I knew that, I have a feeling that we might be able to destroy Donovan even before the voters went to the polls.
Hastings was the vigilante candidate. What are we going to do about it?
Let's get rid of Donovan and all his crooks. Ship them back east where they came from.
I doubt very much if the East will thank you for the gift. Don't you worry, Dean. We'll get rid of them.
How?
Well, we've got to put up an even stronger candidate. Someone who's well-known, respected, and popular. Someone who just can't lose. The only trouble is, where do we get someone like that? You know, if I... What? Oh, no, you don't. Not on your life.
You were our first choice.
Even before Hastings.
Yes, yes. Well, I'll tell you now what I told you then. No! Now, look here, gentlemen. I've got a store to run here. Yeah, and a wife who likes to see me on occasions. Look, I'm telling you, gentlemen, absolutely, positively, no, I am not going to run for office. Now, is that quite clear? That's very nice, Sam, but I thought newspapers weren't supposed to take sides, huh?
Only the news columns, Jack. That's editorial policy. I ran off 500 of those last night. They're all over the ward.
I wish they had somebody else's name on them.
How much of Donovan's dirty tricks are we gonna stand for? Look at these, every one of them smeared. Mr. Brannon, I spent all night putting those up.
And I spent all night smearing them. Gentlemen, I ask you, who do you think the public's going to blame? Donovan.
Sam, that's dirty politics.
It's the only kind of politics Donovan knows. We'll beat him, Jack, his way and ours. You're going to take that crook's place on the city council.
Donovan doesn't think so. Not the way he's betting. He's offering 5 to 1 that he wins.
He's bluffing. He wants everyone to think he's sure, so they'll vote for him to be with the winner.
He's willing to cover.
And I'm willing to bet. It'd be a pleasure to take some of Donovan's money. Here, run this over to his place and get it covered, huh?
I sure will.
Dean, hold it a moment, will you? Sam, if you don't mind, I'd like to take that bet over myself. I want the pleasure of facing this scoundrel down, especially with your money. How much money we got here?
$2,000.
2,000, eh? All right. We'll make it 2,010.
Mr. McGivern?
Mr. Sam Brannon and I would like the pleasure of your 5 to 1 odds.
I am very sorry, Mr. McGivern, but all bets are being held by the bartender at the Bella Union. Mr. Slater, will you see that this bet is covered?
Yes, Mr. Donovan. It's going to be an honest election this time, Donovan.
I should hope so.
There will be no repeaters, no Peruvians, no Chileans voting straight off the ship, Because we're going to have vigilantes watching at every poll.
I'm still offering 5-to-1 odds. You might tell Mr. Brennan to put that in his paper. Good day.
Wait outside, please.
Yes, yes.
Next time, knock before you come in.
Well, Mr. Cooper, I hope you bring me good news. Are they ready?
Yes, they're ready.
And you'll make delivery tomorrow night?
Mr. Donovan.
Tomorrow night?
Mr. Donovan, I can't deliver them. I can't.
Mr. Cooper, I paid in advance $3,000.
Well, here it is. You can have it back.
I don't want it back. Mr. Cooper, I don't understand. You were pleased to get this job, and now I must say you don't seem very happy.
Well, after Hastings was killed, I got to thinking...
Perhaps you didn't think far enough. If it could happen to Hastings, it could happen to others. I expect you to make delivery tomorrow night.
Yes.
Mr. Cooper might prove embarrassing. Watch him.
Odds 1 to 5, receipt. There you are, Mr. McGivern. Now, Mr. McGivern.
What? Oh, thank you, Charlie. Thank you. Mr. Cooper? Oh, here, let me help you. I never thought this face of mine would scare a man into spilling his drink. Mr. Cooper, if you're in any kind of trouble, perhaps I can help you.
Charlie.
That's, of course, assuming that you want my help.
There you are. One for you, Mr. McGivern.
I'm drinking alone.
To Donovan? Isaac, I saw you in Donovan's place. Now, don't you want to tell me about it? Because, like I said, perhaps I can help you. Hmm?
I said I was drinking alone.
I don't believe it. I just plain don't believe it.
Are you intimating that I'm blind?
I'm just trying to tell you that I know Mr. Cooper, and I know he's a fine old man.
All right, then. What was he doing at Donovan's place? Why did he get so upset when I asked him about it? And furthermore, what is he doing skulking around a back alley? And don't tell me I didn't see that.
Whatever you saw was wrong. Look, Jackie, you've met his daughter, Bess. She's gonna marry Jerry Howard. Jerry's one of our top vigilantes.
All right, that's fine, that's fine. But that doesn't make Mr. Cooper a saint by marriage, you know.
Doesn't make him anything till we've got the proof.
Where are you going, might I ask?
To the Cooper house to get the proof.
Dear Patrick.
Hello, Bess.
Come in. You're just in time. Look at my wedding gown.
Well, that's nice.
I'm afraid I can't offer you much comfort, Dion. This is dreadful. There's so much to do before a wedding. Here, sit down.
Well, you ought to get Jerry to help you. Where is he?
Off to Sacramento on business, just when I need him.
Was your father home?
No, he's been gone most of the day.
Then I guess you're the only one that can help me.
What's troubling you, Dion?
Your father?
Oh, yes? Why?
He was in Donovan's office today.
Donovan? Martin Donovan?
Jack McGivern was there. He saw him. Do you know what your father's doing for Donovan?
Well, it could be anything. After all, he's a carpenter, cabinet maker. Someone wants a job done.
Donovan?
I might ask the same thing about Mr. McGivern. Why was he in Donovan's office?
He was on legitimate business.
Are you trying to say my father wasn't?
Jack went in and out the front door. Your father used the back. Bess, was Donovan ever here at the house?
Of course not.
Anyone connected with him?
No one's been here recently. Except Mr. Hastings,
Hastings, when?
the night he was killed.
Hastings tried to see McGivern that night. He must have gone straight there from here. We think he wanted to tell Jack something. Donovan is betting 5 to 1 he wins this election, even against McGivern. Now, that must mean he's up to something crooked.
It doesn't mean my father is involved.
But if he is, if that's what Hastings wanted to tell us?
I don't believe that. And I won't believe it, not until I hear my father say it.
Look, Bess.
I think you better go.
Bess, please.
I said you better go.
I'm sorry.
Oh, Fritz. You gave me a start. I thought the door was locked. Anything wrong?
What are you doing for Donovan?
Donovan?
What are you doing for him?
Well, Bess, can't a man work at his trade?
Dean Patrick thinks that you're doing something wrong. Are you?
Dean Patrick? What rights he got to upset you like this? It's none of his affair what I'm doing. Bess, it's just a small job. It's nothing. It doesn't matter.
It matters a great deal.
Bess, it's for you. It's for you and Jerry. You'll have some money to get a start.
Not Donovan's money. There won't be any start. Don't you understand? Jerry's a vigilante. It's half of his life. How could I let him marry me knowing my own father's involved with Donovan? I don't expect you to understand Jerry, but me. You've had me all my life. I'm ashamed you know so little about me.
Bess. Bess, you're going to marry Jerry. I'm going down to see Dean Patrick, and I'm going to tell him everything.
Daddy.
Oh, Mr. Cooper.
Raise your right hand. You swear that you are an American citizen, that you have been a resident of California for 60 days and of San Francisco County for 30 days?
How's it going?
I don't know, Mr. Donovan. There's an awful lot of McGivern men about me.
You don't say. No disturbances of any sort?
No, sir. Not a thing. You'd think it was Sunday.
That ought to please our vigilante friends. A nice, orderly, legal election. Well, Charlie, doing your duty as a citizen, how's the betting going?
Slowed down to a walk, Mr. Donovan. No takers.
Ah, really? I'm offering 8 to 1.
They know you're as good as elected. I guess they're scared to risk their money.
It would seem that way. But remember what the prophet said. If the money won't come to you, you must go to the money.
It's 9 to 1 now, Sam. But it's just knowing that if I do lose, we hand that town back to Donovan and his pack of leeches.
Are we gonna lose?
It's quite possible.
Mr. Cooper got killed, so we could lose, huh?
No, Dean, we can't be quite sure that his death had anything to do with the election.
It had to. First Hastings, then Cooper. Both of them wanted to tell us something, and both of them got killed.
Well, don't give up, Dean. Don't give up. One of these days, we're going to catch Donovan red-handed.
Gentlemen.
Oh, speak of the devil. And that's an insult to Satan, now that I come to think of it.
Well, now, that's a nice warm welcome. Thank you kindly. Mr. Brannan, I'll come right to the point. You've been so generous with your betting, I thought you might like to do some more.
What odds?
Shall we say 8 to 1?
No, let's say 9 to 1. That's the latest quotation.
Not anymore. 10 to 1 for $5,000.
If you'll turn your back, I'll open my safe.
Think I made the odds too long?
No, I think you're overplaying your hand. Who's going to do your killing now that Slater's gone?
I don't think I understand.
Maybe we can't tie you to Hastings' death, but we know you had something to do with Cooper's.
Would you care to prove that, young man?
Yeah, I would, and I will. And I'll have plenty of help. There isn't a vigilante who'll rest till we show this city what you've done to it.
There won't be any vigilantes when I'm re-elected. I'll strip the bands from your arms and the guns from your hands, and I'll give you 10 to 1 on that, too.
And I'll take it. Yes, please. I've got to talk to you. It's important. I want you to help me, Bess, and I want to help you.
Isn't your help done enough already?
They'd have killed him anyway.
Why?
Because he was a decent man and they knew that sooner or later he'd talk. It was Donovan who had your father killed. I don't know why, but well, it was something about the election.
That's all that matters, the election.
It's not all that matters. Help me, Bess.
Leave me alone.
Do you know why your father was working for him?
Yes. It was for Jerry and me. He wanted money to give us a start.
Well, do you have any idea what he was doing? His workshop's right out in back of the house.
He kept it locked for weeks.
Locked?
I thought he was secretly building something for us. Furniture for our home.
Well, don't you know? Didn't you look?
I didn't want to spoil the surprise.
Bess, it's just a chance. I know it's a pretty rough thing to ask.
We'll need a lantern. Would you hold this for me, Dean?
Mm-hmm. You won't need the key. Does it look like anything's gone?
It's hard to say.
Here.
Dean,
What's the matter?
this tarpaulin, it wasn't like this the other night.
Thought you hadn't been in here for weeks.
Just the day you called, just for a minute. When I came in, my father was covering something with this.
Maybe that's what they broke in here to get.
But what?
I don't know. Look, Bess, a workman like your father, he'd have plans or drawings or something, wouldn't he?
Sometimes. He kept them with his drafting tools. The key is here.
Dining table B&J.
He's Gonna build that for Jerry and me.
Bed for B&J, sideboard B&J, bureau, dry sink. Job for D.
Ballot box. Maybe Donovan was buying those for the city.
Donovan was buying these for Donovan. You see that, Bess? You know what it is? It's some kind of a secret panel so he could pack this space below with votes. I remember back in Boston they tried to use these once. They brought them up from New York. No wonder Donovan was so sure. His own private ballot box. He'll have these stuffed like a Christmas goose, and I gotta stop him.
But the election's almost over, Dean.
I can always yell fraud. I'll fill the paper with this tomorrow. The whole story, all of it.
All of it. My father, too?
He's part of it.
He doesn't have to be.
But he is.
He had a good name all his life. Why spoil it, Dean? Doesn't matter who made the boxes.
Look, Bess, it's not just the election. It's what a crook like Donovan can do to us. If he can buy a decent man like your father, he can buy almost anyone. That's the real story. And it doesn't mean a thing unless I come right out and name names.
I want that drawing, Dean. It's mine.
I'll return it to you after I've shown it in the paper.
I want it now. I want that drawing.
So do I. That drawing seems to be in demand. You want it, she wants it, I want it. I get it. Come, Mr. Patrick. I can promise you to...
I'll shoot. Dean.
All right, Mr. Donovan.
Well, the time has expired, gentlemen. This polling place is closed.
Hold it.
For just a minute.
Calm down, Inspector. Calm down. All right, Dean, let's get on with it.
What's the meaning of this? This is outrageous, young man.
So is this cheating ballot box packed with illegal votes for Donovan.
That's ridiculous. The boxes were inspected before the election.
And switched before the election. I'll take your key, sir.
If you give him that key, you're breaking the law.
The key, please, Inspector.
All those are good votes. You can count them later. I'll show them the rest. Come on. It's very simple. You just turn the box over, pull out the slide, mix the bad votes with the good, put the slide back in again. They're all marked for Donovan. I'll bet 10 to 1 they are.
I promise you, sir, I'll bring charges of fraud.
And I promise you, sir, you'll have to wait till he answers the charge of murder. It's a beautiful day.
Yeah, beautiful. Yes, and in more ways than one, too. Here we have the account of Martin Donovan's conviction, and on the very same day that I'm to be sworn into office.
Yes, sir, it's a beautiful day. Tell me, Jack, after you're sworn in, do we have to call you councilman?
Yes, in public I think it would be proper, but in private you may call me Mr. McGivern.
I'll do that, Jack.
California. Oh, I've traveled here, I've traveled there. I guess I've been most everywhere. But I like where I am today, and here is where I'll stay. Now, one thing I just can't endure is being broke and being poor. So I come west to take the cure, and here is where I'll stay. I've come to California, California. There's gold in them there hills in California. I've come to live where life is best, in the get rich in California.